Hey, what's up, boys? So I did end up going hexblast ignite as my starter, and it's been a journey. Leveling the mass was actually really fast and smooth with Righteous Fire and Armageddon brand. I swapped to hexblast at around level 80 with the final lab, and at the start it felt pretty powerful. But some problems became quickly apparent. It took me to like level 90 until I got the build to be able to clear like tier 16 comfortably. But there's still some problems. Mainly it's that self-cast hexblast feels horrible. A 1 second cast time is absolute hell. I've probably died like 100 times to range backs that hit me before I hit them, or some random stun locks by white mobs before I can finish my cast. So I've had to invest a lot more into defenses than I originally planned. It's a lot better now, but it still feels squishy at times. I also had to automate my curses with Blasphemy because reapplying curses after every hexblast made the build really slow. Temp chains with Blasphemy is probably the strongest defensive layer I have. A super underrated aura setup, something I definitely want to use for some other builds. Problem with that is that compared to running 3 damage curses in Vixen's Entrapment, I'm losing half of my DPS. The damage is still fine for normal maps, but like Guardians and Pinnacle bosses are an absolute grind. I have managed to finish most of the Atlas already, but probably won't bother killing Maven and Uber Elder with this build. But end of the day, I'm still pretty happy with the build, as it still managed to be a decent like tier 16 farmer, and I really didn't have to invest much into it. At most it was around 2 divines. In hindsight, like copy pasting this build as an elementalist with a proper ignite skill would have been the better choice for sure. I don't recommend playing this build, but I'm still gonna do a quick overview of the character. Okay, so this is the character. It's Hexblast's. It's level 92. If you didn't know, this character is about Rebuke of the Wall. You just use like spellblade support and battle mage, so it gives like a million flat damage to Hexblast, and Hexblast can ignite with any damage. So I'm just scaling the big ignite. The passive tree. So the passive tree is a little bit different. A really cool tech I saw Young Rowan use on his Inquisitor is Mind over Matter with Eldritch Pattern. And this does like 3 really strong things. Firstly, it splits the damage you take, so regen becomes a lot more effective. Secondly, you can reserve all your auras, all your mana, and you don't have to worry about mana cost at all. And thirdly, you can use like a Divine Blessing setup. And since Inquisitor has like infinite regen, it feels really smooth. For the auras, I'm using Determination, Flammability, Temporal Chains, Vitality, and the blessing is Malevolence. The rest of the passive tree is pretty much the same thing, just ignite life. Pretty simple. I dropped these 3 nodes because I'm not self-casting curses anymore. The gear, I'm just using 2 uniques, the sword obviously, and per extra spite. I use this ring for like every ignite build, it just gives so satisfying chains. The rest of the gear is just I try to get good rares with like some stats, life, res. This increased life regenerative rate is a really strong node for Inquisitor. And the shield, you can only get like increased fire damage if you want DPS. I really love this anoint if I'm just like mapping overcharged. Gives you a chance to get all 3 charges on kill, so it's really strong. Yeah. I would have loved to get Brittle Ground on this instead, but I hit Scorch Ground, so it's whatever. Since I have like infinite regen, I'm just using a bunch of utility flasks, Cinder Swallow, Granite, Quartz, Quicksilver, Basalt. And if I get like a no regen map, I just swap. For the gems, I'm using Molten Shell on left click, Wall Molten Shell on right click, Frostblink, Leap Slam. Leap Slam is really useful because I die a lot, so I can run back really quickly. And I have an Arcanist brand set up too for just some debuffs for bosses. And I think that's it. Bye.